All right, welcome back to the D&D show. I am your host Drew with my co-host Dre. We are back to discuss some hoops and some Premier League this week. Um, it's going to be the Lakers versus the Pistons and City versus Chelsea. So our two teams played against each other over the past couple weeks, and we're just gonna kind of go through those games and kind of how we feel about those teams and the seasons. We'll do the Premier League first, and then we'll finish off with some hoops talk. But before we do anything, go any further, man, how you been, man? How's it going?
Blessed and highly favored, and add busy to it now too. It's just the normal routine. It's just busy. Some nights you get a lot of sleep, some nights you don't, and you just got to keep rolling. That's how it goes.
Yep.
But blessed, man, blessed. Like I said, we got food on the table, bills getting paid, roof over our heads. Can't ask for much more than that. So yeah,
Nope. I agree.
can't ask for much
Same
more.
for yep. Same for me. I'm busy, busy, busy. My new job is it's there's some challenges here and there and whatnot, but just like every job. So I'm excited. It's very busy, and I'm doing kind of building up my digital database right now. So I'm kind of doing some architectural stuff right now. I'm working on some design stuff so that everything is perfect when things get really, really busy, and I get a lot of projects going. Right now, I don't have that many projects going. I got a few, so I got some time to build the proper structure so that everything is the way
Before
it
it
is.
grows
Yeah,
and it's
before.
out of
Yep,
control. Okay.
exactly,
I got
exactly.
you. I got you.
Yep.
I'm following.
So I'm doing
Okay.
my IT stuff and application development, whatnot. So I'm excited, man. All right.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Definitely gained the weight back. So I'm back at 147, 148, 17, 18 pounds back. But it's because I just haven't been able to train as much because I've been working a lot. My days have been kind of long lately. So that will even itself out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get back in shape too. I feel you on that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's severe
Yeah.
consequences if I don't, get get to get back in shape. Because I ain't stepping back in the ring until I hit my weight. I don't even want to spar until I'm there. I want to
Yeah.
feel safe.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry. I'll
feel the
be too
same. I
slow.
feel the same. I feel the same way. If I don't get back in like game shape and I go out there and try to play, I'm gonna get crossed up and left on the floor, and that's severe consequences too. That's the same
Oh
thing as
yeah,
getting
it
knocked
is.
out. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty much the same thing, bro. Imagine me going on the court just because I'm playing against a 25-year-old getting crossed and laughed at in the gym.
yeah.
That's crazy. Like I can't let that happen because I'm a dad
Embarrassment
now. I
is
can't let that
embarrassment, right?
happen. I mean,
Right, exactly.
embarrassed in front of my daughter. Like this is crazy. So yeah, you
Yeah.
can't.
Mhm.
We got to get back in shape. Got to get back in shape.
Yep. Yep. But first things first. Everything is priorities. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I got things that I got to
Mhm.
prioritize, and then I'll get back into the flow. Same
Yep.
thing with you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, dude.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, dude. So let's get into our City versus Chelsea game. Um,
Okay.
I'll set the stage here for us. We got Rodri in, and Tajani is in.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Doku's not starting, um, and yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that. But the lineup is Pep's doing a little bit of experimenting, and we got our inexperienced back line with Nico and Nunez. So there's some choices that are being made here, and I'll get into how that impacts the game. But you want to talk about kind of how y'all came into the game, or you want me to just go through?
Yeah, so I guess if I want to give the background of Chelsea, the reason this was a big game is because this is our first game post Maresca. If you didn't hear, like Chelsea parted ways with their coach, I don't know. He keeps saying that his story is gonna come out, but I mean performances weren't great. Then I guess he just got into it with the board, so the best thing for everybody was kind of part ways. Um, I was kind of disappointed because of the timing. because Maresca, one thing I will give him credit for is like against the best teams, he had us set up perfectly and we played really well against teams that actually wanted to attack, actually wanted to play on the ball. Like he had us turn into pressing machines against those teams. So I was always excited for the Arsenal game, the Chelsea game, the Liverpool, I mean, the Arsenal game, the Man City games, the Liverpool games, because he knew how to set us up against those teams, and I knew we were going to have a shot. So this game, we went into it with the interim coach, as you would call it. He's the under 21s coach. And we just, in that first half, we were happy to defend. That's all I'm going to say about that first half. Uh, I mean, I can give you a lineup, but you could look that up. Like, it's not that important what our lineup was. Like, the importance for Chelsea was we didn't want the ball in that first half. Like, we didn't want the ball, weren't interested in keeping the ball or keeping possession. Like, we were there to defend. Like, we would have been happy if it was 0-0 after the first half, which I mean, do we want to get top four? Obviously, we want to get top four, but we're not pushing to win the Premier League, so we were happy with the draw, honestly. If you gave us a draw to start the game, we would have been happy. So that's my take on how Chelsea approached that first half.
Yep.
Do
Yep. Yep. So
you agree?
yeah, no, yeah, I agree with their y'all overall approach to the game. It was very frustrating to watch. But my thing, so let me just kind of go through what happened early on. So early on, you see Silver making plays, but
Mhm.
there is this one. If you do, you remember a couple weeks ago, I was complaining about. I kept bringing up how we used to complain about all the time about how the Arsenal does the picks and whatnot. So
Yeah.
we've been going through this back and forth, right? So and I'm like, if teams are gonna do this to us, we need to start doing it. And
Yeah.
finally, we are doing this now. Silva was designated screener for the goalie in this game, and he's been doing it for like the past week or so, couple weeks. Um, obviously there is no goalie interference in Premier League. They're not going to call it. It's not a thing. So you need to be doing it if you want to score corners. It's obviously they're not gonna if they're not gonna enforce the rule, then everybody needs to be doing it. Just like when Harden figured out that step back is no longer a travel, and now everybody's doing that step back.
Everybody doing the step back, yeah.
It, you need to if you can create space that way and travel to get space and shoot a jumper, then you should do that. And you shouldn't just stick to the rules of
Yeah.
the old ways just because you want to be traditional or you want to be
It's
fair. You know,
it's sad. It's sad because it ruins the game, and I think we talked about this before. Like, obviously, in the NBA, there's a lot of flopping that happens. Like, people pretend to get hit or basically exaggerate contact
exaggerate. Hmm.
because they know they can get a call. And I mean, this is kind of like the opposite end. Like, they're actually initiating the contact and they're not calling it. But it happens in soccer sometimes too. It's like you get contact in the box, like you go down like you got shot
Happens
because
all
you
the time
got
in
a chance
soccer,
because you
all the
got a
time.
chance to get a penalty. Yeah, so
Yeah, it happens in
it's
every
the same
sport.
thing.
Yeah, every
It
sport.
hurts the game, but you're literally at a disadvantage if you're not doing it at this point. Like if you're
Right.
not putting someone to at least distract the goalie, you're at a disadvantage because, like you said, Arsenal were the key ones to start doing it, and now other teams have just picked it up and done it as well because the officiating has to be consistent. So as long as they're consistent and everyone can do it, then it's fair game. Like you have to practice it. Like you have to do it. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. And what teams are doing now is they are the coaches are designating someone to be the person to block the screener. So someone's got their designated picker, and then they got someone that you need to block and protect your goalie. So
Yeah.
it's a part of the strategy of the game now. I like to see teams, adjust to rule changes and exploitations of the rule. That's kind of the fun part of the game. It's frustrating to watch, but I
Hmm.
like to see that people are adapting and they're not just all right. This is their thing. Let them get away with it. No, we need to do it too. If everybody can get away with it, then everybody should be doing it.
And you
Yeah.
know what the adjustment has been to this? Because people have been putting so many players up on corners. I talked about this before too, but teams are leaving like three attackers up high, and they're like, okay, that's great. You got a lot of people in the box trying to score this corner, but if you don't score it, we're literally having our goalie launch the ball up, and we're gonna have like a 3-on-2 break basically.
Yeah.
So they'll basically like turn it around and like if our goalie is able to come out and get this ball because you didn't put enough pressure on him, we're gonna have a break. And that actually happened against Chelsea, against Fulham. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, they figured it out, man. They figured it out. There's a
Yep.
way to counter it. So
Yep.
it's good to see the strategy on both sides for sure.
Yep. So early on, around the 38-minute mark, Holland makes a great move, beautiful strike, and it hits the post. And this is a common. This has been a common thing with Holland the last couple of weeks. Him hitting the post. He's just been super unlucky. Very unfortunate. But 3 minutes later, Tijani actually gets the ball and has a beautiful little strike with his left foot and actually scores. In my opinion, though, I thought this should have been saved. I don't. And that goalie should not have got beat to his near side. But that's just my view on it. I don't know how you thought about that, but it looked that.
I think well, I think it took a little bit of a deflection, which is always hard because you almost have to double react. And I could be wrong on
Did
that.
it? I
Maybe he
don't.
did
I don't
straight
think
shoot it
it
with
took a
his left foot,
deflection.
but I thought it took a deflection. Uh, but even if
Maybe
it
I know. Maybe
didn't,
it did. Also.
I have to say that unfortunately that's our backup kicker, our backup goalkeeper. So it was one of those things where he's not really Premier League proven anyway. So I wouldn't expect him to make that save. Sanchez maybe would have had a better chance to make the save, but uh, the keeper that was in, God dang, why can't I think of his name right now? Anyway, he's our backup keeper because Sanchez was hurt, and I wouldn't expect him to make that save. Like you could see, like I don't. I'll have to go back to see if he actually made any saves, but like we got lucky. Y'all were hitting the post, bro. Like our goalie wasn't coming out of nowhere and making saves. Like y'all didn't produce the best attacks, and when y'all did produce an attack, for some reason y'all were hitting the post. I think y'all hit the post twice. So the one strike y'all put on target, like y'all scored. So yeah.
And so this is classic playing the results. This was a mistake. To play Tijani in this game was a mistake. The offense was porous throughout. Doku was the player to start. He's the player that should be playing over Tijani. But Pep will feel validated because Tijani scored. This is one of those. But at the end, I put a note that he said he should feel validated because he scored. At the end, this is right before I was about to leave and go train. Of course, something else happens, and that's no longer the case. Okay, but so we go into the half. We're up 1-0, but I am not happy. Um, yeah, I'm pretty upset at halftime. Um, I think I went and put on the news or something. I don't even think I watch. I usually go and watch the halftime show with
You
the rest of the
watch the
City fans.
news.
I'm pretty sure I went and
Son, you
watched the
watch the
news.
news.
I was watched the news during halftime and waited for us to get because I didn't want to listen to the Citizen fans us make excuses for that first half. I was so so I literally skipped the
Yeah.
halftime show, which I never do because I was so upset, Larry. So I went and distracted myself during halftime. But we come back out and you can take it from the second half here.
Yeah, so
Anything? Yeah, go
we
ahead.
came out in the second. Well, yeah, we came out in the second half, and the interim coach, like I said before, McFarland, I think is his last name. He made a change, and he knew that we kind of needed a little bit more possession. So he made a pretty drastic change and took out the young star Esteval and brought in um, Santos. So basically, kind of like took an attacker off to bring in like a midfielder. And the reason for that was we needed the legs in midfield because Joao Pedro and Cole Palmer were doing way too much defending in that first half.
Yeah,
So
giving
his
up too
idea
much
was
possession,
like,
right?
okay, yeah, so they're like we just didn't have the ball enough. So it's like, what's the
Hmm.
point of us having a fourth attacker if we don't have the ball? So he was
Exactly.
like, we'll just bring on a midfielder to try to like get some more possession to actually do
Yep.
something with those attacking players. And we looked a lot better. We looked a lot better in the second half. Like I got to give us credit. But it was mainly just getting possession, just like having the ball. Because in the first half, we just didn't have it. Like we were defending, 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 and I'm like, we are playing for a draw. And like it's so obvious we're playing for a draw because we don't have enough players forward to even keep possession. Like they're not
Right.
even willing to throw players forward to try to keep possession. So I'm like, yeah, we're playing for a draw. But obviously, after that first goal goes in, you have to change things, and it was a good change. Like obviously that's easy for me to say because spoiler alert, we scored a last minute goal. But I think even before the goal went in, like you can tell we played a lot better. We looked a lot more solid in the second half. Um, and the one thing I will say about the goal is that it was almost like the complete opposite philosophy of Enzo, which we talked a lot about. Enzo Maresca, who left us, he always had our like left back, right back, always like basically tucking inside, to help
Mhm.
keep possession. And on this play, you could see Gusto's actually out wide, like a right back in a normal system would be, and all he does is simply beat his man,
Right.
basically with the dribble move and cross the ball into the box. And it's the simplest like action as far as like an attacking action, but the cross was so perfect that there was really nothing they could do. Like you would hope someone be in a better position, but like the cross was perfect right across the box. Donnarumma couldn't get to it, and Enzo, I think he took two or three chances to get get it into the net, but he ended up scoring, and like we end up getting a draw. So, I mean, I gotta applaud us for staying in the game, keeping our heads and everything, but like performance wasn't great. Like it wasn't a excellent performance, but you'll take a point when you got a interim coach and I don't know the what would I say the mentality around the club is probably like really low because the coach just left and we don't kind of know what's coming next. So
Yeah, morale.
like
Hmm.
draw against Man City is the best you can. Yeah, morale. That's what I was
Hmm.
trying to say.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
just it's just down. So it's like you'll take a draw, man. You'll take it. And
And this
yeah,
was at the 94th minute. This was in stoppage time.
yeah,
And I will let me reemphasize there was things that could have been done on this. Nico O'Reilly made a huge mistake, which
he's the
basically
one that
turned
got
that
beat.
into yes, that turned that
Yeah,
into a breakaway. Essentially, there was no reason to do what you do. You never take yourself out of a play in that situation, especially when the game is about to be over and about to save a point. This is a decision by
yeah,
Pep to play young players that are going to make mistakes that cost us games like this. And I've been talking about this back line all
yeah.
year, and we tried to put Ake in there, and Ake did not look good. I was very disappointed. In
I
Ake
was gonna say though,
because it's my
like with
guy.
y'all injuries though, like who else do y'all have to play left back? Because I think it might be. I mean, it might be on Pep, but it might be on like the board. Because I feel like y'all don't have another left back that's healthy
Well,
now. Because Gavardio can play there, but he's hurt now.
yeah.
So
The problem is you've been playing these guys all year, so this it's
yeah,
not like you're not gonna switch it up now. You kind of got to roll with
yeah,
Rico because you've been doing it all year, and we changed the way that we
yeah.
play. It's not that simple of a fix now because like
Hmm.
we could take Rico Lewis and put him basically anywhere back there
I
and
forgot
and
about
use him
Rico.
right,
Yeah,
but
got
because
Rico.
we changed the way we play. Rico's an inverted fullback. He's not a natural wingback or anything like that. He plays in the middle of the
Hmm.
field and he plays up. We don't need that right now when we can't defend. We need our back line to stay back or stay at least wide back. Um, and we've changed the way we play, so we don't. Rico doesn't really fit what we're doing this year anymore because of the way we've changed the way that we play, which has worked, but there's multiple issues. It's like compounding issues. Like if you play this way, there's certain players that have to play super great. Cherky is not a wing player. He's too slow. He shouldn't be playing wing ever. So we need to stop doing that. Keep him in the middle field. That's where he's talented at. He is extremely gifted,
Brilliant player
talented.
though. Brilliant player.
Yeah,
Yeah,
extremely gifted midfielder.
yeah,
He's just not a he's just not an athlete. So you shouldn't be out
yeah.
there. That's where the athletes are supposed to be at, on the outside.
I feel
Keep
that.
your skill guys
Feel that.
in the middle, and but we keep playing around with our wingers and our lineups, so that there's no real consistency besides Foden and Holland. And now that Rodri's back, I got some hope that things can get better, but I'm not sure about this year. This year looks like it's going to be a wash. Um, so that's kind of all I had to say about this game. We blew it. We blew 2 points. Um, and we've also blown it. We blew it multiple times after that game. So
Yeah, y'all had y'all chances, and the post was probably our best defender on the night. So I don't have much to say. I'm glad Chelsea were able to get the draw. I think it was a much needed draw because of the state of the club right now and the coach leaving. So I was happy with the point. Performance after that game, not so great, but what can you do? What can you do but hope for better in
you
the
can,
future?
yeah, exactly. You can play better. Is what you can do.
Yeah. New I mean, well, new coaches coming in. Well, it's like it's an interim coach, so it's like I can't be upset with him. Like I see
No,
stuff
we're
that I think
fans,
he
man.
should have
You'll
changed, but it's
be
like
upset. You'll be upset. Yeah, I don't
is
believe that
it,
they should have got rid
this
of Enzo in the first place. So I don't. I figured you would
well,
be
I
more
think it
upset
was
about that than.
no, I think it was a mutual decision though. So like a lot of things came out in the media like apparently um and maybe it's a pride thing, but apparently he's been talking to Man City on two different occasions about possibly being like a replacement for Pep. So that was going on like behind the scenes, and it's like, okay, well, are you really a Chelsea coach like through and through? Or are you about to hop the next bus to Man City again? You know,
He saw
so
finally.
if that comes
She
out and that's a
finally.
true thing, it's like, yeah, exactly. So if that comes
She
out and that's a real thing,
finally.
it's like, bro, it is what it is, bro. But and on our side, bro, okay, we gotta. All right, well, maybe we do have to look somewhere else. You know what I mean? And
That's
then
that.
him just going out and speaking on the team or speaking about. I don't. I think he said something about the ownership, and that's kind of when we knew he was gonna be out. But yeah, it's like there's
That's that
just stuff
Marcus
that's
Houston.
happening. Yeah,
Marcus
yeah.
Houston, bro. That's
Uh,
that girl,
if
man.
I
You know
if
what I'm
I
saying?
wanted
Oh,
that girl,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All I did was
But that
love. All I did was
But
look.
that,
You
but that,
know,
but
they
that's the
got
thing though.
fired.
He was looking way
All I
too
did was
hard. And he's like,
look.
hey man, he's looking way too hard.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, if something happened over there, you know what I mean, and I got it in, like I'm about to jump ship. It's like Lane Kiffin, you know, like way
Yeah.
back in the day. I don't know if you saw that 30 for 30,
You're not
but
going.
this the
You're
funny
not gonna stay
thing
with
with
the
Lane
seven
Kiffin.
if you got a 10. If you got a 10 available, you're not staying with the seven.
Well, the Lane Kiffin stuff, like it's so funny to me because like I'm not even talking about currently, like what he did before when he was
Oh,
at
I thought you talking
Tennessee.
about current
Tennessee.
LSU
No, no,
thing.
not
Oh,
current. So before he moved to coach Tennessee, right? Named his
right.
son Knox. Named his son Knox. That's the biggest part of it. And then turned around and left for USC like a year later. Like, bro, I was like, let me show all of my loyalty to Tennessee. Name my son Knox. Like, come on, bro. Come on now. And then leave to USC the next year. Like, that was the craziest thing when I was reading when I was watching that thing in his story. I'm like, that's nuts, bro. That's nuts.
Yep.
Like,
That's a reminder.
I'm so loyal to Tennessee. I'm gonna name my son Knox. I'm like, yeah,
That's a
yeah, but I'm
reminder
out
that
of here
you
next year.
you might think things are good at home. You have no idea. She might leave you at any point. That's a reminder to
Yeah,
everybody. Ain't no
that joke
loyalty
was
in life.
hilarious, man. That joke was hilarious. But yeah, man, that's all I got to say about Chelsea is new coach is coming in. He's talking like he just wants us to press harder and play more attacking, which I mean, we'll see how it goes. To me, honestly, when I when I knew that we were getting a new coach, I'm like, I want Klopp. I know he's not going to come back and actually coach, especially not Chelsea after he coached Liverpool, but I'm like, that's the coach I want. You know what I mean? Like, because that's how I
Yeah.
want us to play with our young players. Like, I want us to press and I want us to cross the ball a million times. Like, I don't want us to try for a perfect cross because we don't have that talent. Like, we don't have
Kind of like
Kevin De Bruyne.
Sunderland.
I want, I want it. Yes, exactly. So similar to Sunderland, but we got more talented players than Sunderland, so we can add a little like spice to
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
But we want to
They play to
be
win.
we don't want to play efficiently. we want to just go. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like we
Run and gun,
taking
right?
like
Mm-hmm.
we want to run and gun, and this is how the coach sounds like he wants us to play. So we'll see if it actually happens like that, because it's the opposite with Enzo. It's slow and it's methodical, and it works so well against really good teams. But when we play against a team like Sunderland that is happy to sit back, or a team like, I don't know, the Burnleys of old days, we can't break them down because we're playing so slow. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, we
Yeah.
just need a medium. I don't know. But anyways, switch over to basketball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's start some
Switch over to
hoops, man.
hoops.
Let's start some hoops, man. All right, so it's Lake Show versus the Pistons, man. I'll set the scene here. Lakers are coming in here cruising. No, we're not. We're not coming in here cruising. So Denver was a horrible, horrible month for my Lakers. We are reeling. We were reeling in December. I think we
Oh,
went like
December, yeah.
yeah, December. I think we went 5-9 in December. So
Hmm.
this is the end of a rough month for us. Okay. We are 7-7 against coming into this game. We're 7-7 and 500 versus teams above 500. And all those losses that we had were by double digits. They were blowouts. It's been tough to watch. Like literally, I've been able to turn off games in the third quarter just knowing, oh yeah, we ain't coming back. It's over. because
That's it.
because you just there's a feel to a game that like, oh yeah, this is not this team that they don't care tonight. Like you could just tell. All right, yeah, you could tell. Like yeah, y'all were on some other crap last night. I don't know what y'all were doing last night, but it wasn't sleeping. You know, that's what you could. That's
Mhm.
the effort that you can tell when your team is like, So that's kind of how we're struggling coming in, and we're playing a real team. They're second, or I think they were first. They're still first in the East, the Pistons, and they're cruising. Cade is averaging 26 and a half. Nine something, 9 points, was it 9.6 assists? Like second in the league in
Falling,
assists. So he's balling.
falling.
All right, all right. So, you got any comments from the very beginning of the game before we get
Uh,
into first quarter?
yeah. I mean, main thing was like first quarter. Heavy dose of Cade and heavy dose of Tobias Harris before he
Hmm.
actually went out injured in this game. And they were both just hooping. Like for Cade, um, you mentioned it on a pick and roll. Like y'all got a couple weak defenders who were just attacking, and Cade
Right.
was getting to the basket like it was his business. Like bro, like he didn't care about shooting jumpers in that first quarter. He was getting to the rim and getting layups. And I'm like, yeah, if we can get those all night, we good. Like it's gonna be an easy night. It's gonna be an easy night. So yeah, he's
So,
just
yeah, early on you can see. So we can talk strategy. Start off talking about strategy. So if you watch the
yeah.
game, you can see both teams have a certain way that they want to approach defense and they want to approach
Hmm.
offense. We are a spread you out, high pick and roll. Iverson cuts for someone, where they go into the corner and then they set screens. The Iverson cut. You're a big AI guy, right? You know that play
Yeah.
where Iverson's in the corner and then he runs off two screens and gets the ball. That's kind of to
Hmm.
start the action. We do a lot of that. We do a lot of elbow. We do a lot of four corners. Handoffs, stuff like that. But the main thing that we do is high pick and roll, figure out what they're going to do, and then adjust accordingly, right? If they want to switch, whatever they don't do. So the problem is teams like the Pistons who don't defend one particular way, you can't approach the game that way because they're going to switch it up. So the Pistons, their defensive philosophy is if we don't have to switch, we're not going to just switch. Okay, we want to keep our matchups. All right, so which means that the defender who's guarding the guy who's going to set the screen, he has to make the decision. Is he going to trap? Are they gonna run ice? Which is basically denying the screen, or are they going to, or are they going to hedge? Right? They're going to show quick and then they're going to get back. Either way, the Pistons are not playing drop. They're not giving away the three ball. Now, this this is a change, as you can see, because a lot of times they play drop and pack the paint. But
Yeah.
you can tell that they're a good team because they don't just make the decision based off of how they want to play. They make the decision based off of who they're playing. All right. They
Mm-hmm.
knew that Luka was going to come in here and jack up a bunch of threes. All right. They knew that he was going to hunt threes because that's how Luka plays. He wants to get to that
Yeah.
step back. He wants to shoot jumpers and he wants to run pick and roll. So we're going to show him different looks. We're not going to give him the same dose of everything. Now, Luka was very effective in this game. We'll say that. But he took everybody else out of the game by the way he was playing. Okay? The Lakers' defensive strategy is we're not going to try. We're just going to give up the switch. No matter if you set a real screen, you just brush screen, we're switching. That's the defensive philosophy in this game, and what that led to is them just basically targeting our weakest defender, which most of the time was Luka. All right,
Cade getting layups. Yeah.
Yep, which leads to nothing but straight line drives, wide open shots, and points in the paint. Okay, first quarter was rough. Watch for both teams, a lot of turnovers. In the first quarter. Very, very sloppy game in the first quarter, but you could tell who the better team was at the very beginning of this game. Okay, the matchup was Thompson on Luka. He's young. He's got some things to learn, but
Yeah.
it's also Luka, and they give Luka this insane whistle as well. So
Yeah,
he's kind
I
of
was gonna say like
unguardable.
Thompson. Yeah, there's a lot of times there's nothing you can do, but sometimes I'm like, okay, you have to realize he has to watch the tape and be like, all right, bro, don't jump for that pump fake. If he makes the shot, so be it. Like, be in a better position to defend him next time,
Yeah,
because that
don't
was a lot
reach.
of it. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of it. It's like, bro, you're just gonna get called for ticky tack stuff because it's Luca. So it's like you just have to make it tough on him, make him shoot tough twos, and live with the results because there's nothing you can do. Like there's players like that in the league that you can't get near them or
Instead of trying to
yeah.
stop them, just try to make it harder. Don't try to stop
Yeah,
them. You
you
try
just
to
have to make
stop
it
them,
tough.
they're
Yeah.
just going to be fouling.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
try
it.
to make it tough.
That's it.
But he's a young player.
So he's got to learn.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all. He's a young player, and he'll get better. And I didn't think he played bad
Yep.
defense. I thought he played good defense. I just think he got called for some some ticky tacky stuff. And
Yeah.
he's like the young player. Like when you get called for a crappy or a tough, it's not like you're gonna be like, all right, no, you're gonna continue you're gonna be
Yeah,
adamant that
you
this is
just
not a
continue to
foul.
do it and hope you don't get called again.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
You're not
it's
gonna
like
just
that was
give
just a
it.
bad call. Next time they
Yeah,
gonna mess it up again. Nah,
right.
nah,
Nope, they go do it
don't.
again to you. Yep.
So he's
And
got to
that's what
learn.
happened.
He's got to learn.
Yep. Yep. And the matchup for their best player for Cade was Smart and Jake, who started this team. Jake LaRabia and Marcus Smart.
Oh yeah, I remember
Uh,
him.
so the problems here is Marcus Smart is too small and Jake LaRabia is too slow. So you have a
Not quick enough.
situation where, not quick enough. So he's got the size to bother Cade, but he doesn't have the foot speed or the discipline to stay in front of Cade or in front of Cade. Marcus Smart's got the strength. He's got all the strength, for the post ups. But he also really can't stay in front of Cade, but he can do a little bit better than Jake, but he's also too short. So he can't
Mhm.
bother. Cade can shoot a jumper at any point, and there's nothing Marcus Smart can do because he can't bother his shot. So you got a guy who he can get pretty much anything he wants on both of the main people that are guarding him. All right. If we get into the second quarter, the Lakers go into a major drought, and this is and the reason why this happened, in my opinion, is because Luka was the offense, and there wasn't anybody else getting involved. And when that happens, once the minute you start missing shots or the minute you leave the game,
The
how are you
offense
going
is
to score?
done.
How are you
Yeah.
going to
Where
score
do?
points? Okay? No Austin Reeves in
Yeah.
this game, okay, because he's injured.
Yeah.
So, and we're in trouble, right? We are in trouble. My once we got to the end of the half, where it's like down 8 or whatever, going to the third quarter, this is where the game, to me, it got out of hand because the matchup changed. It was Jared Vanderbilt guarding Cade, if you remember this. And the minute Jared Vanderbilt would start, our best defenders, and he was still getting layups and jumpers and whatever he wants, that's when I knew this game is over. Turned it off.
There's nothing we can
Nah, I
do.
turned it off. I knew the game was over in the third quarter. The minute I knew that our best player couldn't guard him, it was over. All right. Now I did go back and rewatch the game and all that, but this is when I knew the game was over. In the third quarter, when we changed the matchup, we did our our halftime adjustments. We're feeling good. We're gonna make a run. When our halftime adjustment did not affect the game at all, that didn't change the game at all. We knew that Lakers fans, we all knew that it was over. And the Pistons, you know, no, I'll let you talk more about the Pistons. It was a good showing
Yeah, I mean,
in LA.
this night was like the Marcus Sasser night. Like he's one of our bench players that's been getting more minutes because Levert is out. I think we got another player that's out, but I think it's mainly Levert that's out. That he's getting a lot more minutes, and he kind of just showed out. Like he just hit some big threes like late in the game to kind of put it out of reach. Um, but the trend, I think maybe it started in the third quarter, like you said.
Mhm.
Maybe it was even the fourth, but like we just started a trend where we were getting a stop and like a layup on the other end, and I was like, yeah, that's unfortunately that's like effort wise, because it's like it's not like we're getting steals and layups every time. Like we're taking rebounds and going to get layups, and I'm like, yeah,
Transition
that's like
defense.
you said. Yeah, that's like you said. Like the effort's not there, bro. Like
Yep. Yep.
for the most part, for the most part, if we're getting a rebound and getting a transition bucket, like the effort's just not there.
Yeah.
Um, but
We
yeah, I
made
will
a
say,
we
what,
made a
say
run.
that, say again.
We made a run in the
Oh
third
yeah,
quarter.
y'all made
Just
a run.
we did make a run
Hmm.
in the third quarter. We got it down to 1 point. It was 79,
Hmm.
78. About 6 minutes left. After it never got closer after that. After that, it just the lead just grew. So basically, at the last 4 minutes of the third quarter to the end of the game, it was over. So the game was relatively close in the third quarter. We got it down to one, but then the truth eventually, revealed itself. We didn't have an answer for Cade. Um, it was that simple. Um,
Yeah, I think yeah, Cade's a problem. So going forward, like a healthy Cade and the Pistons can do some damage. Obviously, he's the biggest player, but also like we just played a game without Cade and we ended up winning. And oh God, it was believe it or not, Mister I want to fight LeBron, Isaiah Stewart, who actually
mhm.
came up with like a 30 ball for us, which is just crazy. But it's like, but if you've been watching him the last couple of years, like bro knocks down to three now. He's a great finisher inside with both hands, surprisingly. Like, and he's an elite defender. Like, he's an elite defender, can move his feet pretty well, but more than anything, he's like a rim protector. So it's like you go for a block, and there's a very good chance he gonna meet you at the rim and block your shot. So that's kind of bringing that old like bad boys
Enforcer.
Pistons mentality. Yeah, exactly. So I think he and Javante Green this year are two of my players that if you don't watch the Pistons, you wouldn't know. But those are the two players that like they show up like night in, night out, and they are fun to watch because they're both just showing up effort wise defensively. And for Javante Green, like he just hit some timely threes for us. And if you were watching the Pistons like the past couple years, the threes have kind of been missing. Um, and obviously we got Duncan Robinson for that aspect. But if you know anything about Duncan Robinson, you know that he's not the best defender. So if we can get someone like Javante Green out there who's a solid defender and he can knock down threes, then you don't have to worry about that on the other end. And like he can become a big asset. So if he keeps knocking down threes consistently, like you can kind of like see Duncan Robinson maybe having less and less minutes and maybe getting some spot minutes where we're just like absolutely need to spread the floor because people are packing the paint, which I saw a couple games ago. But for the most part, I like the way the Pistons are playing, and I'm starting to understand the strategy that you were saying where we just want to dominate in the paint and get our extra points off offensive rebounds.
Yep.
And against y'all, we played a little higher up and tried to deny some threes, but for the most part in our games, we're happy with people shooting threes here and there because we don't think they're going to shoot a high enough percentage to outscore us.
Right. Right.
Like, we're not completely giving up the three and backing up, but we're making it a point to be like, all right, we're going to try to protect the paint and we're going to dominate in the paint on the other end and see if y'all
And
can outscore us. So that's kind of our
you'll
strategy going into games, like, to put it simply.
and you change, and it's adaptable. That's the key is that
Hmm.
they started icing in the third quarter. If you notice that they were doing, they started out
Hmm.
trapping, and then they started hedging, but then they decided once Luca had
Hmm.
30 in the third quarter, they decided no, we're just gonna ice. We're not gonna allow you to
Like,
go to the screen.
yeah,
We're
we
just
can
gonna
just stick them
ice
out.
you,
Let
and you're gonna
somebody
have
else.
to yep,
Let somebody else
yep.
beat us. Yeah.
And this would
Yeah.
be these stats would be the best way to reflect this game. If you go to turnovers, y'all had 18, we had 20, right? But 18 turnovers,
Pretty
you would
even.
think the
Yeah.
rest of the stats would be, a relatively close game. Fast break points, they had
I
31,
think so.
we had 12. Points in the
Yeah.
paint, they
Just
had
running, man. Just running.
74 to 44 in points in the paint.
Yeah. That's what I
74
was
to
telling you about. Like,
44 in points
it's
in the
just
paint.
absolute. It's it's absolute domination in the paint, and it's either us running on a fast break, which we just got young guys that like to run, like
Hmm.
similar to OKC a couple years ago. And if it's not that, then it's running a pick and roll and Cade finding Duran or Isaiah Stewart cutting to the rim and getting
Right.
a layup or a dunk. Like, finds them
And we would
consistently for
and we were
layups and
switching.
dunks.
Which means the
Yeah.
minute you get the switch, I'm just gonna dump it down to my
Stewart's
big
going
guy
against
on
the
the
guard.
little guy
Yeah.
and get a layup. So we did that all
On a
night.
guard, and it's a dunk. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So,
So, that's it
yeah.
directly led to what happened in the game. So you got to be able to adjust. You got to be able to make adjustments and have different strategies. We may just not have the
77 paint
personnel.
points is ridiculous. I can't lie. 77
Yeah.
paint points is ridiculous, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's
74,
that's our
74 to
focus though.
44.
So that's what they go for. 74.
30
Oh
point.
yeah, that's
74 to
wild. Yeah.
44. 30 point difference in points. Mhm. When your turnovers are basically the
Crazy.
same. So that means you're taking the ball out the basket and getting buckets in the paint. That means
Yeah,
that's
it's like I
that
was
you
telling
can
you. I think it
tell,
was
you can
late
see that
third
on
or
TV.
early
Yes, late
fourth
third,
quarter. Just running,
late third,
just
early.
running,
Yep,
bro. Just running.
yep. Right after that right after
Yeah.
we cut it down to one, y'all just made a run and it was over. And we
Yeah,
and we had to.
I don't think either
It
of
had to
us
be
ran.
magic.
Watched it. Watched the last minutes of the game because it wasn't worth it. Like it. I
Yeah, no,
swear
on the
it was
rewatch.
similar to. Okay, yeah, yeah.
On the
Okay, but
rewatch, I
it
did,
was
but
similar to like.
yeah,
Okay, okay, yeah, like similar to the NBA Cup game
yeah,
when I swear the Knicks got an offensive rebound and scored like on like almost five straight possessions. I was like, this game's over, bro. Like they can't rebound. Like the game's over. Like there's no point of
yeah,
watching. If y'all can't get a
yeah.
defensive rebound, y'all can't win this game. It's that simple. And y'all can't
Yeah.
get a defensive rebound. Like it's over. So and it's for y'all like not only were y'all not getting stops, like we were getting stops and getting layups. So I'm like, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
much you can
You,
do.
you're getting stops and getting layups. Y'all were taking the ball out the basket and getting layups. That's when you know
Yeah,
that
it's
it's an effort thing.
effort, bro. Effort, yeah,
You
effort.
know.
Should
So,
never happen.
but I will say, this was a tough game, tough loss. But we were having a rough. This was a perfect reflection of our December. We had a horrible holidays. We just it was bad for us this holidays. But
Missing Reeves, right?
yeah, yep, missing Reeves, yep, for sure, a lot. But that's not really an excuse for effort. No, Reeves is not really the effort guy. What is it? Reeves is out there because he can get buckets. He's not really that. He does give
Yeah.
effort, but he's not really the effort guy. That's not what his calling card is. He actually came into the league being that guy because he was a undrafted guy, but because his skill has
Hmm.
developed so much, he's no longer that guy. He does get a lot of charges and whatnot, but there are other people whose job is to be the hustle guy, do all the dirty stuff. And those people were
Marcus
doing their
Smart.
job. Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia,
Mhm.
those players. So this was a tough game, man. But let's just do a little brief overview of the season here for us. We're still very good. We're still at like the sixth, seventh best record in the league. So I'm not overly upset. We've overachieved this year. I would say. We played better than what I thought, and I gotta say this about LeBron, man. It's truly inspirational what this man is doing at 41 years old. Um, uh, yeah, it makes me feel like, man, I can definitely box into my 40s for sure. Because I ain't no professional athlete, so I could definitely do it. If LeBron can do it, I can do it. So I just love what LeBron is doing for just for the game of basketball. It's pretty amazing what he's doing.
Yep. He's still doing it, man. He's still doing it. But I mean, for the Pistons, like obviously you can't be unhappy with first place in the East, right? Like I was
Right.
complaining before because when I watched that Celtics game, they just gave up three after three after three. But I think we're improving defensively. Like I think we got a couple injuries now, but it's almost beneficial because you're really getting to see other players get more minutes. And I think something interesting might happen with Ivy because he's either going to have to start playing better or he might be one of those players that we look to trade off because I don't think his performance has been as good as God, who's the young guy we got that's in there? I think he almost came from like the D League. I think it's like Danis, something like that. You have to look it up, but he's
Janet
he's a he's
Jenkins,
a he's a guard for us. Yeah,
Janet
Danis
Jenkins, yeah.
Jenkins. Okay,
Mhm,
so
mhm.
yeah, bro has been knocking down jumpers for us and been playing out of his mind. And I'm like, Ivy's not getting minutes over him. Sasser's been playing great off the bench. I don't know if Ivy's gonna be consistently getting minutes over him either. So I don't know, Ivy. I think the Pistons like really missed him last year after he got his injury, but now I'm like, okay, we got two more players and we got Karis LeVert. I'm like, how I don't know where his minutes are gonna come. You know what I mean? Like he's
Y'all
there now
very
because we
deep,
got some injuries, but I just don't
but
know. Yeah, like I'm saying,
y'all crazy
we got
deep.
a really
Y'all,
deep team. Yes,
I
like
forgot one
we got a
thing.
really strong roster now.
Yeah,
Oh, you forgot somebody?
I forgot. No, I forgot to mention this while I was going through the game. So what
Huh?
changed this game in the second quarter is y'all bench. So the Pistons have this bench
Yeah,
basically where they have this lineup where they put their subs in
they're
and they're like, no
dogs,
one's
bro.
scoring,
They're
nobody is
dogs.
scoring. They,
They're
they just shut
dogs,
everybody down.
bro.
This is
They're
similar to what
dogs, bro.
OKC
They're
had last year,
dogs.
where they would put their bench in and they would
Yeah,
shut people down. This
same
is just
model, bro.
same type, same
It's the
model.
same model, bro. They're
It-
dogs, bro.
it-
They're dogs.
Yep. It's a bunch of
They're like, we ain't.
bullies.
They come into the game. They're like, hey, none of us got a foul yet. So yeah, we coming at you.
We might not
None of
score,
us
but
got a
y'all not
foul. We just
scoring
came on the
either. Yeah,
court.
yeah.
Yeah, they're dogs, bro, and they're the ones that get out and get in transition too, bro. It's like because there's
Yeah,
You
because they
got
get
Holland
turned.
that comes
Hmm.
off the bench for us. Holland's a dog. Sasser, like Ivy at times with that second unit looks good. Like yeah, they're just dogs, and I don't know all our players that actually play minutes. I love them all, man. Like I love the whole roster because they all contribute. Like Paul Reed gets out there. I love when he's out there. Freaking, I talked about Javante Green already. Like
Hmm.
he's great. So yeah, they did a really good job with this roster, and I hope we can. I mean, I just want to improve every year, so I hope this year we just win our first playoff series. So yeah, if it goes
That would
further than that, great.
yeah, that would be very disappointing if you guys didn't win or make it to the conference finals this year. It
Yeah,
would be very
I'm
disappointing.
saying,
Or
I'm saying,
very disappointing. Especially with
yeah,
the
because
defense. Defense
Isn't
travels.
the East the East isn't super strong, but you always got to look at the Knicks and be like, all right, can they figure it out? Like right now, I don't think they have it figured out, but can they figure it out? And Brunson's just a tough guard on
But you guys
any
got the
night. Even
people
though
for that.
we blew them out last game. The last time we played it, we blew them out. I think we won by 31. So
You
it's not
guys
like we
got
can't
people
beat
that can
them,
guard him.
but you know.
Yeah. Because you guys got
Well,
it. It's a
yeah,
good, y'all have people that can guard it.
Yeah, the last year the problem was Towns actually, but now we actually, I mean, if Stewart's health, I said this last year. If Stewart was healthy in that Knicks series, we win the series because it was Towns that was killing us, and Stewart is a great matchup for him. But we didn't have
If he can stay on
Stewart,
the floor,
and
yeah,
Duran defensively just wasn't getting it done. Unfortunately, I
yeah,
think he's improving, but he was not getting it done last year. Towns was torching him, unfortunately. But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
we
man.
got more bodies. We've been putting in the work. Hopefully it turns into a good playoff performance too. So we'll see.
Yep. This one would be appropriately named. Defense wins championships. This was about getting stops, and that's what changed this game.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
they put
Yes, sir.
that back their backup lineup. They're not trying to score. They're trying to shut everybody down until their stars get back in so they can score points. That's what they're trying to do,
And
and they're
then
trying to get
run.
out and run.
And
Yep,
then
get
run.
out. Yep, score
Yeah,
in transition.
They're young. They're young. They're gonna put pressure. They're gonna be all over you, and they're just gonna run, bro. They're gonna run. They're not great shooters, but they're athletes. Like they're running.
Yep, and they can get away with defending and playing like that and running and still crashing the glass. That's a rare thing where you usually got to pick one or the
Yeah.
other. But they don't think that just because they're running they're not gonna crash the glass. They're gonna crash the glass too and get back. That's when you can
It's
really impact.
you know it's a mentality like crashing the glass when you see Duncan Robinson getting put back layups. I was like, when I saw Duncan Robinson get a put back layup, I'm like, yeah, it's just the mentality. Like coach just got him on it
And it
because
doesn't
ain't
mean
no
you're
way Duncan Robinson should be getting put back layups.
and
Ain't
that
no way.
and that's you only give them that freedom. Because there's everybody has their assignments and responsibilities on the team. Like there's a designated person
Yeah.
who's got your back and all that, depending on
Yep.
where the team's at. You only get that
Yep.
license to do that if the coach can trust that you're gonna go get there, and worst case scenario, you're gonna stop the ball and help the defense get back. You're not gonna just crash the glass and then put
So we
yourself.
don't get beat in
Yeah,
transition, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So you're not gonna crash the glass and then put us in a advert or a bad situation or a 4-on-3 or something like that. You're gonna crash the glass and then maybe pressure the ball, make it hard, do something to stop them from advancing the ball. You have to have players that you can
Running
trust.
on us, yeah.
You know. So
Yep.
yep,
Or you just keep two players back and crash three. You know, everybody has their own like little strategy and
yeah,
whatnot. So
yeah.
the shooter
It-
might be one of the ones that stay back, and another guard stays back to stop transition, and then you send three to the board. So yeah, and I haven't watched that closely to figure out what our strategy is in that, but I mean, you can see that we're crashing. Like we're sending people to the glass. I can't tell you who's sitting back, but people going to the glass.
Yes, yep. So, yeah, well coached team. But even though the Lakers are struggling a little bit here and there, we still ready to get coached. You just got to get these dudes to try more. But I think effort is it's a player thing. I don't think it's a coach thing. But some would argue differently because Thibodeau's teams always there was never an effort issue with those teams. So um, there is an aspect
Yeah.
of coaching to it that you can get your players to play hard, but certain players are just not going. They're going to do what they do. I get buckets. The Jordan Pooles of the world. I do this thing. Nothing else is in my job description. That's the way they
I
approach
feel like
basketball.
I feel like I saw something weird in a JJ interview, but it wasn't like unheard of. Something like, I don't know, almost like he was saying he gives LeBron suggestions or something like that and doesn't actually coach him at this point. I might be
Well,
tripping.
yeah. I
Maybe you
mean,
know what I'm talking about, but I
yeah.
swear I heard something like that, and I'm like, this is just so odd.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because LeBron's been in the league so long, there's not a whole lot you're gonna tell him,
Yeah,
but you need him to lead by example, and that's what JJ is trying to do.
yeah,
Because LeBron's got a lot of power, he kind of can't control him, and which is
yeah.
ultimately it can be a problem, but because LeBron is 41 years old, man, let the man do whatever he wants. Like He's gonna be done in a year or two or whatever. Just let him do his thing, man. It's you know it's fine. Especially when your best player is not leading by example on the defensive end. It's kind of hard to be like LeBron. You're
Yeah.
41. The 41-year
Why
old.
don't
You
you?
need to play better defense and do it. But I'm 41 years old. Like, how about you
And,
go tell Luca,
and
26-year
Luca's
old,
getting
whatever,
cooked.
to go?
Yeah.
No, so it's hard. It's a difficult situation there for JJ because he's coaching a veteran team even though he's a young coach. You know?
My
But yeah,
last question for the Lakers out there. What is Bronny's future looking like?
well, yeah, keep collecting that check and developing your game.
Okay,
He'll be an
okay,
NBA
okay, okay.
player
That's all I
soon.
need to know. That's all I needed to know. That's all I need to know. All right, cool, cool, cool.
He'll be an NBA player soon, man. He's got some athleticism. You know, but other than that, yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
highest paid two-way player ever, probably. A two-way player like a 4-year contract. It's insane, but whatever. Hey,
killing it,
look, when
killing
your
it, bro.
daddy is LeBron James, life is good. So
Nepotism, bro. Nepotism at the
yeah,
finest. It was
yeah,
finest. All right.
yeah. Anyway, all right, my dude. I think that is it for this week. I don't even know who
Yes,
we're
sir.
playing this week, Premier League wise. But we'll get back to some Premier League. We'll get into the nitty gritty. Oh, matter of fact, I think actually, bro, I want to bring my brother on and we're gonna do an all basketball pod.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's what I think we're gonna do. So
Yeah, man.
I'll give you the deets on that. So that
Okay.
means one of us or both of us have gonna have game assignments that we have to
Okay.
watch. But yeah, we're gonna do all basketball next week, and we'll bring my brother on as a guest. All right,
Sounds good, bro.
all
Sounds
right, and
good.
then we
Yeah.
got to get your brother on to talk city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anytime we invite him, he'll be happy to join, man. Get him a break
All
from his
right.
kids.
All right. All right, bro.
All right, that's it, bro.
Take care. All right. All
All
right,
right,
one.
one.